Hello and welcome. My name is Susie, and I am a Kaplan Content and Curriculum Manager. I am going to talk with you about how to answer NGN standalone questions. In this video, I am going to discuss the two different NGN standalone question types, show you examples of each type and how they are scored, and then go over a few strategies about how to approach these questions. When the next generation NCLEX or NGN launches in April of 2023, 20% of the questions will be designed to measure your ability to make clinical judgments. These NGN case studies will be composed of information presented in the form of medical record tabs. Then you will be asked questions to determine your ability to recognize cues, analyze cues, prioritize what is most important or most concerning, then make a plan and provide interventions for the client. You will also evaluate your actions and the client's response. You may be asked a series of 6 questions which progress through these different cognitive skills, or you may be asked a single or standalone question. These standalones may focus on several or all of the elements of clinical judgment. This table, provided by the National Council for State Boards of Nursing, or NCSBN, shows the differences between the 6 question sets and the standalone items being used for next generation NCLEX. Remember that you can find many useful resources about NGN on the NCSBN website at www.nclex.com. In the previous videos, we have taken you through the different NGN question types which can be used in the 6 question sets. In this video, we will focus on the 2 standalone types, the bow tie, the trend item. Let's talk about the first case study standalone, the bow tie. The bow tie is my personal favorite. Why? Because you get to do all in one item. This is an example of a bow tie question. This item has 2 tabs, history and visit notes. The bow tie is really 3 drag and drop items. You choose one answer choice from the middle option list and drag it to the center answer space. You choose 2 answers from the left option list and drag them to the 2 left answer spaces. You do the same with the right. 2 answers are pulled up from the right option list and placed in the right answer spaces. The result? Well, it looks like a bow tie. Clever, huh? You can only drag items from the list below into the spaces above them. They are color-coded to help you too. How should you approach completing the bow tie? First, read the information in the tabs, all of the tabs. Then, look at the stem. The nurse, that's you, has reviewed the client's assessment information. That was what was presented in the tabs. Complete the diagram from the choices below to specify what condition the client is most likely experiencing, 2 actions the nurse takes to address that condition, and 2 parameters the nurse monitors to assess the client's progress. How do you get started? You will follow the sequence of the 6 cognitive skills just as you did with the NGN 6-item question sets. First, start in the middle, the condition. You will recognize cues from the tab information, then analyze that information and prioritize the most likely condition or concern. Drag the choice that names that condition to the center. Second, now focus on the left side, the actions. Generate solutions and choose the 2 actions this client needs for the condition you have identified. Drag those 2 actions up to the spaces above the answer choices. Finally, focus on the right side. What would you need to monitor for a client with that condition? What kinds of things would be important to evaluate the client once the actions you specified were taken? Drag the 2 best choices up to the spaces provided. Your bow tie is complete. You named the condition, determined the nursing actions to take, and identified the parameters you should monitor to evaluate the client. Let's talk about scoring the bow tie. Remember, with the launch of NGN in April 2023, the National Council of State Boards of Nursing, or NCSBN, will implement partial scoring. There are 3 partial scoring models: 0-1 scoring, plus-minus scoring, and rationale scoring. Bow tie items follow the 0-1 scoring model. There are 5 possible points for each bow tie. A point for the condition and 2 points each for the actions to take and the parameters to monitor. With 0-1 scoring, you receive 1 point for each correct answer. You receive 0 points for each incorrect answer, and there are no points deducted if you choose an incorrect answer. Also, while taking the bow tie question, you can pull things in and out of the drag and drop list if you change your mind until you move on to the next question. You must fill out all 5 blanks in the bow tie or you will be allowed to move on to the next question. Here is an example provided by the National Council of a bow tie item being scored with 0-1 scoring. See how each of the 3 sections is scored? Remember that a bow tie is like 3 drag and drops that form one question. The last item type that we are going to discuss, standalone item type, the trend. The key to these items is that the information presented in the tabs is trended. Vital signs or lab results are shown over time. Nurses' notes entries occur over hours or days. You will need to recognize and analyze the trend. What is going on? Then you will be asked one question. It can focus on one or a combination of the cognitive skills. The question can be asked with any of the NGN item types: highlight, matrix, multiple response in, close drop-down, rationale, etc. Remember, select all that apply, or SATA, and multiple choice items can also be used in NGN item sets and in trend questions. Here is an example of a trend item. Remember, the key to answering these item types is to identify the trend being identified in the tab information. In this example, there are 3 tabs. You should carefully read all of the information in all 3 tabs. We are just looking at the vital signs tab in this picture, and you can see that the client's vital signs are changing significantly from 10 o'clock to 10:15. The nurse's notes likely presented more information over time as well. A client on a PCA whose blood pressure and respirations are decreasing, and the client is difficult to arouse. There's your trend. What do you think is happening? What should the nurse do? The question is asking for the nurse to take action based on the trend. The question type being used is a closed drop-down rationale. Because the trend item used a closed drop-down rationale, this item will be scored with rationale scoring. Do you remember how that scoring method works? You need to answer the first part of the rationale correctly in order to get credit for any part of the relationship. In this case, the nurse's action is what you must answer correctly in order to receive credit for the due-to relationship. There are 2 possible correct answers or reasons for the nurse to take the correct action. So this question is worth 2 points. If the question asked something about the trended information and was a select all that apply item or a SATA, it would have been scored with plus-minus scoring like all SATAs are. A matrix single select would have been 0-1 scoring, and so on. I hope that this video and these examples and tips are helpful for you. Remember that Kaplan has many NGN standalone item types for you to practice with so that you can feel confident taking both the bow tie and trend item types as you prepare for NCLEX. Good luck.